I'd like to call the August 3rd Town Council meeting to order, and I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Could we please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Father, we invite you into this meeting tonight to lead us and guide us, give us your wisdom, give us truth, and we just leave it all in your hands. Amen.
Amen.
We have some minutes to approve, so would you please look at the June 1st, 2021 call meeting minutes and let me know if there are any corrections to those minutes. If not, do I hear a motion that we approve the June 1st, 2021 call meeting minutes?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
The next meeting minutes are June 1st, 2021, the regular meeting minutes. Any corrections to those?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. June 15th, 2021, our regular meeting minutes. Any corrections to those minutes? Do I hear a motion that we approve?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Those minutes are approved. July 13th, 2021, the regular meeting minutes. Any corrections to those?
Yes.
Okay.
On page 56.
Okay.
Okay, council member, excuse me. There was a motion to approve resolution 2021-20. Councilman Taylor made that motion. And if you notice, everyone said aye except for Taylor.
Aye.
It reads nay, it should be aye. And again, on page 59, there was a motion to approve resolution 2021-21. The motion was made by Mayor Pro Tem Burns, and it was a roll call vote 4-0. And once again, Councilman Taylor is listed as nay, and it should be aye.
Any others? Corrections? With those corrections checked and corrected, do I hear a motion that we approve the minutes?
So,
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
At this time, we'll have public comments, and we have 3 minutes per speaker. Please, when you come to the podium, give your name, address, and the first person to speak tonight is Barbara Shand.
Madam Mayor, the board, and this is my opinion only. On the agenda, there's a petition for giving $500 across the board for 68 people who work for the city if they receive the COVID vaccine or have already done so. People have the freedom and choice to not take the vaccine, but to give $500 as a bonus or incentive by using city funds that are much needed for city sewer and waste to update to this century is a resounding no. Even WRAL-TV, a multi-million-dollar company, they're only giving their workers $50 to take the shot. So why the large amount of $500 for the city 68 who work for a small town city? We cannot be responsible for people's choices or behaviors, but rewarding these who have chosen not to take the vaccine smacks the faces of all who have received the shot of their own volition and have not been rewarded. How can you put the city 68 above all the rest of the town? To remove money from Nashville coffers and reward the city 68 across the board who have refused the shots or have taken the vaccine is not responsible behavior on the board's part, especially when it all adds up to $34,000, which we thought was marked for infrastructure, not Santa Claus behavior. For those who have had the vaccine, get it. Who have not had the vaccine, get it or wear a mask. Do it for your family, your friends, and yourselves. Tell them put their arms out, not their hands, and to be responsible. The pandemic is not going away. Continued refusal to get a vaccine, that is free, safe, and effective, only exacerbating the problem, but again rewarding those recalcitrant people who know the risk and should not be rewarded to do what is all right. Nor should the ones who have taken the vaccine expect a payment for a free shot. I talked to North Carolina COVID Vaccination Service today. You can get $100 summer card, $100 gift summer card in Rocky Mount. Go take the shot there. Save us at least $500. We as a town and town board should not indulge in an apparent ego-driven, self-aggrandizing gesture by a manager venture. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris Sandy. Beth Matthews, representing the Matthews family.
May I ask where Mr. Taylor is this evening?
He had an emergency.
Okay. One of the things that I just first of all want to say is I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak, and so that maybe this time I would be a little bit more on point with my thoughts. I tried to make some notes so that I would like to kind of follow those. So if you'll just bear with me and let me read those a moment, I'd appreciate it. I do appreciate the opportunity. This project literally hits home for me as it directly is adjacent to where I grew up and my mother currently lives. I hope you don't mind, but in an effort, like I said, to keep my use of time, I'm going to use my notes. I ask that you please consider the following concerns that I have as relates to the farmers market, parking, and stage. I think the idea of a farmers market would be okay, but I love the opportunity to get fresh produce and items that a farmer's market would bring. However, I'm not sure of the cost. I think there are so many other location opportunities to explore, utilizing existing public parking lots, public ball fields, or Stony Creek Environmental Park for starters. For the last several months, you have heard from numerous citizens and their inability to pay their new utility bills. And I know that some of these costs have been contributed to pass-through fees from Rocky Mount in a true adjustment of what the cost should have been. But unfortunately, the burden ends up on the citizens of Nashville to bear. It is really difficult to hear that the town of Nashville is committing to spend over $250,000 on a parking lot on property that the town will not own, along with committing to $1,700 a month for a farmer's market that is nice to have, but not a must-have. Right now, the citizens currently paying utility bills in town must have some reprieve. It is hard to think that the town committing to a project right now that we do not have to have while pulling from a budget that is funded with taxpayers' dollars at a time when citizens are struggling to pay their current town bills. I understand that utility bills and property taxes are different pots of money for the town, but understand that whether you are sending me a monthly utility bill or a yearly tax bill, the money comes out of my pocket. I also like the idea that the town holding concert venues and events. There is currently a nice amphitheater that was built at the Stony Creek Environmental Park several years ago. The amphitheater was designed for this purpose and was set up to allow ADA accessibility and a wonderful high overlook over the grass field. I do not understand why the town needs to expend more taxpayers' dollars for a new stage when there is an existing stage that was built specifically for this use. The town has recently sponsored and approved a concert event coming up this fall at this exact location. Clearly, it has been used and is still being used for this purpose. There is no need for another concert venue when we have a great one that is already built and underutilized. Again, why waste more tax dollars? Parking. I would agree that the town needs more parking. The downtown business who have committed to Nashville and continue to commit to Nashville have struggled with adequate parking for years. I am all for new parking to be constructed downtown for the use of the existing business we have in town. that have helped shape and make Nashville what it is today.
And Beth, your 3 minutes are up, and thank you so much.
I signed up as my family, and I've got about 2 or 3 more sentences.
Do your
So-
2 more sentences.
Okay. To think that this town is spending approximately $250,000 through town funds or grants for a location that is nowhere near our main street downtown businesses who currently there seems like a slap in the face to those businesses who have been so committed to our downtown. Before the town spends taxpayers' dollars on parking lot at Barnes and Cross, we need to look into how to provide more parking where it is truly needed. Will we have to spend more money? Yes, but why spend that kind of money for a parking lot that will be used by private business 6.5 days a week and a farmer's market a half a day a week when we have existing businesses who need these parks 7 days a week? I simply ask about this and the true cost to the taxpayers and the existing businesses who depend on you to protect and provide for them. Are you truly protecting them through spending through your decision?
Thank you. Mr. Bill Lump?
Good evening. I'm Bill Lump, 112 South 4th Street, Nashville. I'm a property owner, a business owner, and a local realtor in town. We'll talk about the junction. So I was confused on why there'd be people not wanting the junction, to be honest with you, and it's a wonderful opportunity for the town. And so when I'm selling homes, that's the kind of stuff people are looking for. There's activities, community. They want to do things in their town. They don't want to drive to a different town to do it. It's going to bring people to town, which is going to bring the tax base better. The farmers market is a wonderful opportunity to have other things besides fruit. I mean, we can have other things there. We can have other activities under the shelter. It's called a farmers market, but the one in Rocky Mount does other things and other days too. The music. Ms. Matthews, I mentioned the other place, but this is a different feel. That's a concert. This is more of a feel where there's other things that are going to happen. So there's going to be music, there's going to be other things there, and it's going to be in town. So it's a different feel, in my opinion, on that. Action spurs action. If we do action and we do things, it's going to help the town. It's going to bridge the gap between downtown and that area, which the area is ugly. There's no other word for it. The area is ugly. It's a shame that's been ugly that way. It's a shame that there's houses sitting around town, they're sitting empty and nobody cares about them. It's crazy, and this is an opportunity to build that area up. I was on the planning board, still am, when we voted down the previous location for the apartments, and I agree that was a bad location. This is a different location, though it's not far, but it's a totally different location in my opinion, and it's a great place to again bridge the gap between downtown. That's my thoughts.
Thank you so much. James Baker?
James Baker, 103 East Green Street. I'm just talking about, like Mrs. Shan, I'm not in favor of the COVID incentive. For a person like myself, I know what it's like to be on a ventilator. I was in the hospital 31 days and had to go to a nursing home, so I know how it is for being able to breathe. But I really believe this is really our personal choice, which a person should make. And like I said, I don't see how it would be so difficult when most of the employees here at the county could just walk, just like us, walk across the street to the health department. The shot don't cost anything, it's free. And I just don't really think that we should be taking funds out of a grant for that. When we've been talking about that we have got a problem with revenue here. There's some stuff that we need to do around town. You know, yes, I have talked about broken sidewalks, but like over there on West Green Street, we got whole sections of sidewalks that's missing. It might sound like a little bit of money, but that little bit of money might could fix some of these other problems. That's
Thank you, Jane. LaVonna Hedgepeth?
Lavanya Hedgepeth. 326 North Aviation Avenue, apartment 28A. I'm here again tonight to speak on the water on the behalf of senior citizens, people on fixed incomes, and people who own disability and all of that. Everybody is concerned about this water. And I'm praying and hoping something can be done about it, and it can be eliminated and the problem fixed, and the water bills will come down, because it's everybody's concern. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the people that have signed up. I received 2 letters I need to read of people that could not be here tonight and asked that I would read these 2 letters, so I will do that at this time. It says, my name is Jason Edwards and I live at 222 Woodfield Drive in Nashville. I've been a resident of Nashville for the past 9 years. I've dedicated over 16 years to the town of Nashville Fire Department, holding various ranks as volunteer, career staff employee, and now part-time staff employee, department training officer. In addition to my community service, I have worked with various town departments, sat on various committees, and have supported several functions with my family that were hosted by the town. Now, for the purpose of this letter, I open with that long introduction to show that I have done more than just live in Nashville. I have a love for this town that has kept me here for years. I am excited about the buzz of potential growth in our town. Our town needs growth, and we need to grow with it. Over the past few months, I have watched the conversation about Nashville Junction. I was happy to see the turnout from concerned citizens, both for and against the project. I respect each individual's opinion on the project and applaud their willingness to make it vocal. Through this letter, I would like to make my opinion open for the public as well. I openly and respectfully show my full support for the Nashville Junction project. My reason is simple. We have a great opportunity to set off a wave of growth in our town and an opportunity for small businesses to flourish and create jobs. I fully believe this project would create enough energy to attract not only our citizens, but our visitors. By approving this project, we as a town will show that we are committed to growing our town, allowing for future investments and opportunities to seek out our town. I understand the concern and the desire to keep the small town feel, but it's my opinion that if we prevent growth now, we will slowly become stagnant and left behind. Thank you for allowing me the time to review my letter. I hate that I'm not able to be there in person, as my current job has pulled me away for the week. Thank you for your time and service to our town. Jason Edwards. I have one more letter, and this says, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight in support of the Nashville Junction project. I believe the proposed collaboration between the town of Nashville and Michael Hurt is a win-win. I grew up in a small town in Franklin County, Franklinton, that closely resembles our town. Franklinton's Main Street had buildings full of businesses, 2 drugstores, which had the old-time soda fountains, a movie theater, 2 hardware stores, several clothing and gift shops, a restaurant, and 2 gas stations. Over the years, I watched as those businesses closed their doors until the only business left was a small family-owned restaurant. Main Street in my hometown changed from the busy town center to a ghost town. I see the same type of scenario happening in Nashville. Currently in our town, there's nothing to draw people to the downtown area during the evening hours unless you want a fast food burger or chicken. I do not want to watch our town experience the same fate as I watched in Franklinton. My family moved to Nashville in October 2003. My husband served the Nashville Fire Department as both volunteer and paid staff for over 20 years. Our oldest son currently serves as a paid staff member, and our youngest is a volunteer. I work in the health department's Nashville office. We spend most of our life right here in this small town and have no plans to leave. We are invested in our town. Our desire is to see it succeed and be the best small town it can possibly be. Let me tell you the current state of my hometown of Franklinton, North Carolina. Remember, Main Street was a ghost town? For For years, the people of the town desired the opportunities that some of the larger towns around Franklinton offered. So they left and took their money to those towns in Wake County that could offer them what they wanted. In early 2020, a development group took an interest in the town of Franklinton and had a desire to move the downtown area active again, but in a way that kept the charm of the small town. Today, in just over 12 months, downtown Franklinton has at least 4 restaurants, around a half a dozen clothing and gift shops, a brewery will soon be opening in the old movie theater, and most importantly, the people are back in downtown Franklinton supporting these new businesses. I encourage each of you to take a look at how the town of Franklin has invested in their future success. If I can be of any assistance in showing you their progress, I will be happy to do so. Nashville Junction is the town's opportunity to enhance the lives of its citizens. The additional businesses, farmers market, performing arts stage, luxury apartments, and public parking area will bring new revenue to Nashville. More importantly, it will bring people back to our small town. My extended family is one that enjoys getting together as often as we can. I look forward to the day when I can invite them to dinner in Nashville. I urge this council to move forward with this collaboration. The success of this project in our town is not solely the responsibility of the town council. We, the citizens of investment here. I, like many others, believe this is the start of Nashville's future success. It is time to stop talking about investing in our future and start investing in our future. Samantha Mandy Bailey. You can't hear me. Okay. At this time, before we go on and discuss this, JT wanted to come and speak about, we're going to fit you in here, JT.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank y'all for letting me come in here for a second. Just so everybody knows, the Nashville Police Department has partnered with Special Olympics of North Carolina. It has over 40,000 Special Olympics participants, which are either have some type of cognitive impairment or some type of physical impairment that don't allow them to play sports like regular kids and everything. So no agencies east of Wake County partners with Special Olympics or do anything. So we have partnered with them. We have a cornhole tournament coming up in September. That's going to be at the Stony Creek place. There's flyers going out. We partnered with Parks and Rec McCoy. We're trying to push this out and get Special Olympics going. Reason for tonight, we have Special Olympics has purchased a 2021 Polaris Ranger crew cab. It's about a $20,000 machine. We're raffling it off for $20 a ticket. That's first place prize. Third place prize is going to be a 45 Tundra Yeti cooler, which is about a $300 cooler. And then third place prize is going to be $200 cash Visa gift card. The goal is to raise money for Special Olympics so kids with disabilities can feel like regular kids and enjoy the things that all our other kids get to do. So throughout town, we're bugging every business owner to put these in their stores. What you can do is, in the age of technology, instead of actually buying tickets, we have handheld tickets, but you can scan the QR code and you can buy tickets right online and do it right then from your phone and get deducted. Or if you still want the ticket, we can sell you the ticket. The drawing is going to be December the 20th, so 5 days before Christmas, so somebody's going to get a nice Christmas present. And we're going to do it here in Nashville, and we're going to have some special Olympics people here to do the drawing. So if anybody would like to participate, or any business owners, whatever, or like flowers or whatever, I'd be more than glad to bring them to you to see me, whatever. Thank y'all.
Thank you, JT.
Mayor Brown.
Oh, I forgot you. I'm sorry. I did not do it. I did not do it intentionally. Thanks for reminding me.
I'm Christopher Sandy. I own Bill Wright Supply here in Nashville on the corner of Railroad and Body at 720 South Body Street. And just want to take a minute here to express some things in reference to the Nashville Junction. I'm all for it. I said this last month. I really am. I think it's a wonderful thing. Me speaking up here right now is really silly because it benefits me more than a lot of people to have it there. As far as my property values and all that sort of thing. So I want to preface to say that one, why I am against something, and what I'm against is mixing public funds with private enterprise without an organized structure to have that to all businesses, not just secluded to certain ones or certain times or whatever. That's our tax dollars, and we have a fiduciary responsibility to spend this money fairly, evenly, and to the best to our community. And we need to be accountable for that. And, you know, and I'm saying, well, I'd love to benefit from this too. That'd be wonderful. But then I think about it, no, there's nothing free. So that money has to come from somewhere. And I know one place it's coming from, and it's right back in my hip pocket, because it's tax dollars. And so I just want to say, you know, I'm all for this, but we've got to be smart about this. And we've got to think about the big picture. And we can't just say, well, other places have done it or this, that. I want all these things too, just like everybody else. But sometimes you got to put the brakes on and don't get the cart ahead of the horse and put the right organizational programs into place that facilitates this, not just for one business, but for every business. But I'll tell you, I'm trying to breathe life into that 100-some-year-old building that I own. And I'm taking all my life savings and dump into it. And I'll tell you who's helping me with that. Nobody. And if we get an organized program in place to help revitalize our community, identify what our downtown is, because we're a special town. We don't have a traditional main street. And then be focused with that, I think that'll be a better use of our time, our energy, our monies, and our tax dollars. And that's what I want to share with everybody today. Just really think about this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move on to our next item, our old business. The first one is the street and special events permit. Coy, do you want to come up and speak on that? I think we've talked about it. All we need to do is really just vote on it, but just for the people that are here that may not know, refresh the memory of what that's about.
Good evening, Mayor
Good evening.
and Council. So what we're wanting to do is have a free music event in the park on October 8th from 7 to 10. This event is sponsored by Market Leader Realty. With the band, we would also have some food vendors there, some beverage vendors, and we would also set up different type of lawn games there in the park for them to enjoy as well. So that's kind of an overview of what we're doing. Because we have the concert and the food vendors and the beverage vendors, it requires a special event permit. We had the public hearing for it at the last meeting, and now it's for the council to decide if they want to move forward with this event.
Thank you so kindly.
Thank you.
What is the desire of the council?
I move that we approve the concert.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
It does carry, so we're looking forward to our event in, when is it, October the 8th. The next item on our agenda is the Nashville Junction review. Randy, do you want to talk about that, please?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. So last meeting, we had the public hearing on it, and we have, the council has before it this evening, an inducement agreement that spells out what Michael Hurt through his Hurt LLC company will do, and what the town of Nashville, and I'll summarize that quickly. So as you know, Michael has purchased the Nashville Building and Supply property, and he's proposing that he will subdivide that into two parts, the south half for the building and the farmer's market venue, and then the north part of that on a separate lot. And then under the proposal, he would lease that north part to the town for a public parking lot, a pavilion, and an audience area. He's going to expend 1.2, actually by now, I think it's more than that, but originally when we first started talking about this, it was $1.2 million to rehabilitate the old Nashville Building Supply building and make 12 business suites in it. He'd upfit 2 of the 3 outbuildings east of the building itself into a farmer's market, and he would lease that parcel 2 to the town for 99 years for $1 a year for the parking lot, the pavilion, and the audience area, and then lease the farmer's market venue to the town for 2 years.
that monthly lease that's been talked about thus far is $1,500. That's not in the inducement agreement, but that's in a subsequent rental agreement. Under the inducement agreement, then, the town will agree to lease that north part of the property from Hurt LLC and expend up to $275,000 to construct a 125 space approximate public parking lot, a performing arts pavilion, and a grass audience area, and then lease the farmers market venue from Hurt LLC once it's upfitted for a farmers market and for other activities. Also attached are the two lease agreements, and they spell out the terms for the town leasing the parking lot area and the farmers lease area. Those are also on the agenda this evening. When those agreements were originally drafted, it was back in May. Here we are in August, and some of those timeframes need to be looked at because I don't think they're realistic anymore. But most of those timeframes are in the lease agreements. But you know, if we could, if the council would address the inducement agreement this evening, I think there's time yet to work on those lease agreements if you're not quite satisfied with the language of those. I think Michael's probably going to step up and talk at some point. I know he's told me that just getting the Nashville Building Supply building in a state where his contractors can come in has taken longer than he originally anticipated it would. So that's a summary on the agenda item.
Council, what is your desire about the inducement for the junction?
So there are some items, as Randy had said, to go through as far as time frame changes and some
Right.
typos and things like that. So I don't know how we want to do this. If we want to just go through inducement and then the lease agreements, or if we want Michael to come up and speak first, last, what would you?
Is Michael here?
Yeah.
Michael, where are you? Okay. I couldn't see you for the columns.
How y'all doing?
Good.
Madam Mayor, Council, like Teddy Pendergrass says, I'm going to be for real. I'm very humbled and appreciative for all the support that we've gotten. A lot of texts, a lot of prayers, a lot of phone calls, emails. And so I'll be happy to go over this in detail to whatever extent we need to. We're right here at the finish line, and I'm ready to cross it and get started. Before we get started going into this, I just wanted to bring something to council's attention. With the help of some friends of mine and citizens in the community, we went and started a petition on the 27th. And I'm not surprised, but I'm very happy and proud to say that we had over 91 signatures on the petition that we handed out. Basically what it said is that we, the property owners, business owners, and citizens of the town of Nashville, do hereby support the public-private partnership that has been established between Hurt LLC and the town of Nashville for the Nashville Junction project, located at 723 South Barnes Street, Nashville, North Carolina. We are in support of the capital improvements made by the town of Nashville at the Nashville Junction for a public parking lot, public open space pavilion, and renting the location from Hurt LLC for the Nashville Farmers Market. And with that, Mr. John Jesko with Chambers and Rabel contacted me Friday and seen that we had a petition out, and he said, I got an idea. So they decided to put a petition on Facebook, something I'd never even heard of. And we had over 144 signatures since Friday. And I haven't checked my Facebook since I got here, but I'm satisfied it's probably increased based off of the numbers. Is that 150 now? Since Friday, we've had 150 people sign. And I just want to read a couple of comments. One of them was from Miss Maria Klimbakis. There are many reasons why this is a great idea, to name a few: job creation, success for a few small businesses, a safe place to hang out, keeping money local. Cannot wait for this.
We're not some of your people that
Shh, excuse me. No, you can't do that,
Nashville
honey. I'm
needs
sorry.
this, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, about 12 of them here.
Let me ask you a question. Can we approve the inducement tonight and let you go in and get started on that building and then work out the parts of the other?
So I agree. I think we can approve or go through the inducement agreement and talk about whatever changes we need to make. I'd like to at least put out to Mr. Hurt and the public what changes I see in the both lease agreements, just so that
Have
it's
you
all
finished?
out there.
Sorry, I didn't
but-
mean to interrupt you. I was just trying to wonder.
I do have one more that I'm trying to find that was
You can go.
reasonable. Jeremy Reason, I don't know if y'all know him. I don't know any of these people for the most part. I know a few of them. Says, I sincerely believe that, his name Jeremy Reason, I sincerely believe that this project would be a great addition. Michael Hurt has an amazing vision for Nashville, and I agree with his reasoning. Yeah, that was a joke.
Okay. Kate.
So that's done. I just want to let you know that there's a lot of people that, and I think we've got a good amount of people here in this room tonight that are in favor of this too. You know, I've seen this room stacked against me several times, and I'm happy and so humbled and appreciative for the people that have shown up here to help support what we're doing, because I have had my back up against the wall multiple times in this room, and I'm so blessed to have the support that we've got here today, and I really, truly thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, Kate.
Okay, so these are just the things that I've gone through, and I'll just go through it in order of the inducement agreement, then the two leases. This one is just a simple language fix. Everywhere that it says a farmer's market and other activities venue, it should be a venue for farmer's market and other activities. Any completion dates for both parties, I think should be projected or estimated completion dates, so that we're not subject to things out of our control, like engineering delays, lack of bids, or construction material
materials.
shortages. Exactly. I would like to discuss the lease dates for both the farmer's market and the parking lot, but I'll do that when we get to those lease agreements. In the incentive agreement, I would like for the demolition of the third outbuilding to occur prior to doing the grassy area and the pavilion. I think that would offer us more space, and we can move the pavilion a little bit farther back and potentially even face it a little bit farther away from any neighboring houses. We say that we won't commence the construction of the parking lot until we execute the lease agreement. So I think our completion date should be based on when it's executed. So give us reasonable time to get it done. As for the taxes, I think that the landlord should be responsible for the payment of taxes. While it's only $680 per year, it's part of our projected revenues on the property. And then the date for annexing your whole parcel into the MSD district, that has to be changed because what we have in here is already passed. Then in paragraph 9, that says that this agreement shall be binding upon and inure to the benefit of the parties hereto and their respective successors and assigns. No assignment or encumbrance shall relieve the parties of their obligation hereunder. I think we take encumbrance out of there and then create a new last sentence after this, saying that any encumbrance upon parcel 2 shall render this agreement null and void. So if there's any sort of mortgage that is put on this, we could potentially be losing our rights to it, so it should just nullify the agreement. So that's what I have on the inducement agreement. If we flip over to the parking lot pavilion audience area lease, I have concerns about the completion dates, in that the completion dates don't line up with what we have in the inducement agreement, but again, everything needs to be made a little bit more flexible. I would also like to add in here, when we talk about the improvements that we will construct at our expense, but up to the amount that we have agreed upon, the $275. Again, I'd like the demolition of the third tea shed to take place prior to us being responsible for doing the grass area or the pavilion. This one is a big one. So as for the taxes and the maintenance on the pavilion and the parking lot, this is supposed to be it's supposed to be a one-time expenditure that the town makes on this property. It's supposed to be, this inducement, this incentive to have you do what we would like for you to do with the property. However, it's not supposed to be where 20 years from now, if the pavilion needs, substantial work, if it's rotting or whatever it may be, or if the parking lot needs to be re-asphalted, that's going to be a large expense. And I think at that point, you'll be up and running. And so I don't think that the town should have to pay for that. We can do general maintenance, we can do general upkeep, but anything beyond wear and tear, if we're talking about a larger capital improvement, I think needs to be on the owner of the property. For destruction or damage of the property, that one makes me a little nervous. It says that we need to, if anything happens, damage or destruction-wise, that we have a year to make the repairs. Can we insure, like the parking lot, for example, for like acts of God or something that might happen that's huge? Yeah, earthquake. And if so, I think we should make this contingent upon receipt of insurance proceeds. I also want to add that any encumbrance of the property or divesting of tenants' rights for its use and enjoyment of the premises is strictly prohibited, and that if either of those occur, it shall result in immediate reimbursement by landlord to tenant for all investment in the premises. Next, I'll go to the farmer's market lease. For this one, the same thing applies to the commencement dates, and also that little sentence of venue for farmer's market and other activities. The demolition of the third building should be completed prior to commencement of payment of rent, just to provide safe access to the market and better space for the grass in the pavilion. On this one, I also don't think that we should start the rental of the building in October. At this point in August, COI needs substantial time to actually plan events and to prep. And so I think that we should allow things to be further along at the junction so that you'll have things further up and running, the suites established, bathrooms in place, things like that. So I would rather see an Easter kickoff event. So if we could start this in, say, March, giving us time to prepare and do what we need to for that area. I think that's a better start as far as weather is concerned, and allowing substantial work at the junction to occur. Another concern I have is without the walls on these, and I understand that we're trying to keep this as simple as possible to ease into it, as Ms. Hinton would say. However, it's going to be a hard sell for patrons and for vendors in December months if we can't heat or keep people out of the elements. And so I am asking you to consider putting in some sort of almost temporary, those PVC, like roll down, clear plastic. Do you know them?
I think so.
Do you
Yeah.
understand
I
what I'm
got a
saying? So it'd
general idea of what
be
you're talking
sides that would roll down and roll up. So it's not going to be a huge expenditure. It should be a little bit on the lower side. And temporary, when we want open air, that's great. If it's raining, we can actually put down a plastic roll down. Or if it's cold, we can use propane heaters in the wintertime. So I would like that included in the upfit of the tea sheds. And then my final plea here. While I really do hear overwhelming support for this project, the one concern that continues to come up is the putting of public funds on private property. And I know that we've negotiated a 99-year lease, and none of us will see the end of that lease. It will not be in our lifetime. But I just wanted to make one last plea to consider donating the property, which is the parking lot, the pavilion, and the grassy area. This way that we don't have to worry about you putting a mortgage on anything, selling that portion, or have to worry about losing our interest or our investment in that property.
I mean, that's not really what we've been talking about.
I see it as only being in both of our interests. If you have to do in 20 years some sort of massive capital improvement, how does that benefit you? It would go a long way with citizen support, and I think it's like the one sticking point that people have. If we could just have this be donated to us, we wouldn't have to have so many conditions and parameters and renegotiations of all of these agreements to make sure that our interests are protected. And just visually, it would look a lot better than a 99-year lease.
We own nothing. We're plowing a whole bunch of money into something, and we own nothing. This is public money, taxpayer dollars. You know, we're opening a door here that we've never opened before. Once we put taxpayer dollars into a private development.
Something that does have to be recognized here is that Mr. Hurt is putting $1.6 million into a venture that we are stating exactly what our parameters are, and we're stating exactly what we want him to do. And that's not the case with other businesses that might say, I need help too, where they're not putting this investment into things that are going to, give this great benefit to the area, to what could be done on Barn Street, to what could be done on Main Street. I think this is a little different in that we are following, what the Main Street program said and creating incentives and inducements that are very specific for our needs. But I think that it really would go a long way.
I'm not trying to upset the apple cart. There's a lot of different things that can go there. I could lease it to somebody that could put a slaughterhouse there. It's in the zoning ordinances, or a poultry processing plant. We've got an egg manufacturing plant on one side, we could put a poultry processing plant on the other, and they kind of play off of each other. I'm being a little facetious when I say that.
No, but I understand. I've
is,
gone through those lists as well. There are a lot of scary things that, as of right, you could do, and so that's why.
There's a lot of different things that we could do there, right?
I hate to ask you, but this is just.
So, we've thought about this. We've talked about it. I'll tell you what. I'll make y'all do. We do exactly what we agreed to do. We put the parking lot in. I've talked to several different financial institutions trying to get a better understanding about this. So this is something that I've been thinking about too. And if we do exactly what we said we were going to do, we said we were going to put the parking lot in, we said that we were going to do greenscapes, we said that we were going to build a pavilion, I'll donate that property back to the town of Nashville when it's finished. We need to get an appraisal once it's done. And I still want to have rights to use that property. But we get an appraisal, and I can get a tax write-off for donating that property back to the town. I wasn't planning on doing this right now, but I've thought about it, and I have talked with several accountants. And I'll make that deal to you. I've been straight up and honest this whole process, and we've worked hard on this. And if that's what it's going to take to put this thing to bed, that's what I'm prepared to do. Because I don't see, the more I thought about it, I don't really see, that's what I'm prepared to do.
I just want to make it clear. So essentially, I don't know how we do this, but essentially we're going to, we will be responsible for what we're talking about in the lease agreements and the inducement agreement of putting in the parking lot, putting in the grassy area, putting in the pavilion. And upon completion of those, we will not lease the property. You will donate the property to us, provided we do the appraisal.
Once everything's finished.
Completed.
Once everything's finished, we get an appraisal. whatever that whatever that dollar figure is, I get a write-off for that amount once this whole thing's done, and I continue to have rights to use it when the town's not using it.
Well, I appreciate that. I think that is,
Okay.
that would,
Before we vote on anything, I think it should be in writing.
well, we can make our vote subject to that. We can say, subject to the inclusion of exactly what we're saying here in the inducement agreement. So we can add it.
I'd like to see the attorney write it up and review it, but that's what I'm
Okay,
prepared
so how do you
Absolutely.
want to do it for,
I'm kind of doing this off the cuff, so I really, is there an attorney in the house that can, I mean, this is, isn't this a verbal contract? It's on YouTube too, I understand.
We need to go
It needs to be in writing.
we need to go and approve it. The
so,
inducement.
like, we don't
So
have to
can-
approve the leases today. We can talk
don't
about all
vote.
of those, but the
but we can
inducement
approve the
agreement,
inducement so he can get busy.
we can include in the inducement agreement, that basically another provision saying, provided the town completes the parking lot and the green space and the pavilion as discussed in the inducement agreement, that Mr. Hurt shall donate the property at that time.
So do I hear a motion that we approve this inducement agreement then?
With that
With
provision
that
in there,
provision? Is
I
that
make
what
that
you're
motion.
saying? Do you make that?
I make that motion, and then we can have our attorney write up exactly what that is. That will change the lease agreement a great deal, because it now will be will it be a lease until we finish?
We need Mark Edwards to look at this.
I think it'll be
before
a lease until we finish.
I'd like my attorney to be present too.
So would you like us to hold off on approving the inducement agreement?
I'd rather go ahead and get it done. There's a lot of tenants that are ready to sign lease agreements now that have been waiting and waiting and waiting to do this, and, I mean, I'm not making this decision.
Well,
I'm trying to push
we
forward.
don't start any work on the parking lot, pavilion, or the
Understood.
grassy area until the lease agreement is executed. And we won't execute the lease agreement until we have it in writing that he will be donating the property. So I think that we can move forward with at least the approval of the inducement agreement, so
Is
that
that a
construction
motion?
can begin. Yes, that is a motion,
Is there
so
a
made.
second?
Second.
All those in favor of the inducement agreement, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay. Motion carries. So, and we'll get together and get the other squared away.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you so much. The next item on our agenda is, what is it? Okay, library is, there you are,
He
okay.
doesn't know a town.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
Good.
So at the last meeting, we had, you had asked Tequila if she would check with Nash County Schools, Nash Community College, and a couple of the surrounding libraries, municipal libraries, to see if there was any opportunity our library could partner with them on IT services. And in the meantime, we've talked with Mark Sanborn, who was doing IT services through Braswell Memorial Library for our library until the end of June. And he has since gone out on his own and started his own IT company specializing in IT for libraries. And he has agreed to help us until such time as we can come up with a permanent provider. But Tequila is here this evening to explain to you what she found out when she inquired with the other libraries and some of our county cohorts with regard to IT services for the library.
Thank you so much. Hope everybody's doing well. So I'm gonna try to talk, I wanna make sure I talk clearly so everybody can understand what's going on. It is right much information, but please allow me some time to go over it. So just to let you know the contacts that I've made since I spoke the last time. So with Nash Community College, I actually spoke with David Leggett. He will get back with us. We were waiting for a phone call from them. Also, during that time, I was trying to get a hold of their computer repair department, but I didn't get a response. But David Leggett is the one that returned my call. Wilson Community College, I actually tried to contact their IT department, Miss Susan Weekly. I left a called, like a voice message, asked for a call back. I haven't heard anything from Wilson. Halifax County Public Library, I spoke with the library director, Brenda Faithful, and she said that the county provides services for their IT, and they're now in the process of seeking a contract. Braswell Library, of course, you know, we will not be partnering with, and they asked to end the contract. Computer Central, they provided an IT package, which was a proposal for today.
Tequila, did Braswell give us a reason why they were ending the contract?
Yes, she did. So is Katie Roach. She said that they were right now a priority because she didn't feel that they could actually cover their own library at this point. When Mark left, he left an assistant. She had been there only a couple of months, maybe like 3 or 4 months, if you will. She was not able to do like the same thing that he did, and so they were seeking and venturing out maybe for something that was remotely. So that was a priority right now. She didn't feel like that she could cover as this well because she's having a difficulty to cover her own library. So Sunset Computer Tech, which is located in Rocky Mount, they're not able to manage the library. Rocky Mount Schools, Tremaine McQueen, they said they could not partner, but they gave us references. Infonet Group, I'm waiting on a package from them. I got a hold of them as a reference from Tremaine. Tiber Creek, they're located in Charlotte. I left a message. Again, Tremaine recommended them. Encore, which is located in Brattleboro, they did send price lists, and I believe if you take a look also on the left-hand side of your package, that we have a packet from them. Wilson County Library said their county provides the IT services. So that's with the telephone. Well, not just telephone, but I actually went to locations as well in person. So I just wanted to do this way so you can clearly get an understanding of what happened. So let's just take a look, if you will. If you look in your package, you'll see maybe some emails. I'm not going to read them all. I'm just going to go over them if you don't mind. So I want to start with this one first. This one is Brenda Faithful. I spoke with her a couple of maybe weeks ago and also today. Now this one I will like to read if you don't mind. Okay. Presently, the Halifax County Library System falls under the county IT department umbrella, and they are responsible for all IT issues for the 5 branches of our system. For a short period, we had a part-time IT employee that worked 19 hours a week, but after she began working full-time for the county IT, we have been unable to find someone else to replace her. That has put a full load on our county IT department, in addition to all the other departments' needs in the county. Library IT is a special setup as we deal with the public and staff server, as well as all the security that has to be placed to maintain regulations. Also, the public computers are used so frequently that the chance of problems popping up occur regularly. Libraries need a dedicated, qualified person to set up and maintain equipment, do preventive updates, monitor the security, install software, troubleshoot hardware, install printers, and basically keep all the technology equipment running properly to ensure the public is being served properly and the staff can perform their duties efficiently. I have been contacted by Mark Sunborn, who we worked with before when Braswell was contracted to handle our library system. I would love to be able to work with him again, as I know he could walk in our libraries tomorrow and pick up where he left off and would not have a problem. He is intelligent and one of the most, make sure I don't lose my technical, savvy people I know. Most importantly, he understands the libraries. There are plenty of contractors out there that know IT and do excellent work, but unless they know and understand how the library technology needs to be set up and maintained, it will be difficult working relationships. Trust me when I say that I understand how difficult a struggle it is to try and find the right solution for the IT needs in a library system. If your budget will allow it, getting someone like Mark would be a perfect solution. I started with this email because I too agree, from my professional opinion, that Mark is the choice that we should do for our library for those very reasons. But I know it is your decision who you would like to choose on behalf of the town.
But
to
he's a
serve.
tech person that really understands the library.
I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought you need to not just hear it from me, because I didn't know she was gonna say any of this. I'm
Right.
just contacting people. So, and I thought, oh, those were my thoughts as well. So, if you look at the next one, it should be in order. I do apologize if they're not, but I tried to keep them in order. I'm just gonna quickly go through it. Sandy Vick, so that was Nash County Finance Directors. That was who she was recommending me for contacting. I spoke to Sandy Vick, and she gave me resources. Wayne County Public Library, that's actually a library that I just came from previous. So that's like my former boss. So what I did was, we have a listserv for public library directors, and I put out the question to everyone about trying to get IT services management. And so there was a lot of people on that list, but only a few responded, of course. And she was one. And she made I'm not going to read it, but I'm just going to say her point in her email states that by her having a county library, the county is the one that usually seek and find those services for her. So she was like, speak to your town. And I was like, okay, thank you. So also, if you take a look, there is a Nancy Kunkel, I believe, at Sistel Business Equipment that I spoke with in regards to IT services. And she, and I think that's Dwayne Christman, I think that's how you pronounce that. They're both are trying to work something out. They had questions, so that's why you see Samantha's email address up there for finance. So Samantha asked me, and she's not here today, of course, she's on vacation, but she asked me if someone had like major questions to get a hold of her or at least refer them to her, and that's what I did for that email. So if you take a look, we talked about Sandy Vick. Sandy Vick was with Nash County. I'm trying to keep everybody in mind who's where, but it's Nash County. And so she recommended me some places. As you can see, she recommended Computer Central, which is in Wilson, North Carolina, VC3, Managed IT Solutions, Sistel, and Logically. I got a hold of all these people. Well, we already know about VC3. VC3 already gave their, I believe they gave a proposal a while back, and so did Mark. But Logically, I could not get anyone. I've been calling like back to back to back to back, and I couldn't get anyone. Some of these places are huge. And some are not local, and some are more like remote. So that could be an issue. I don't know. I can't speak directly about Logically, but that could be an issue. And then you have the COVID and so much more things going on. People may be on vacation. I don't know. But Logically wasn't, I didn't get a contact.
So, Tequila, then what you're recommending is that we just, so you can go in and get some help with the library, that we just hire Mark, that everybody's talking about, to help with our tech.
Absolutely.
After you did all this research.
Yes. Well, I wanted to, and I respected that. I did. I respect that you wanted my opinion, but you wanted me to go out and do some more research. I didn't mind it at all. And I think you need to be able to look at and compare. And if you look at your package, I will say this. Encore is also in there, as I said, that's on the left side. There's an email there, and so they responded as soon as possible. The email that I have that you see, I believe it is maybe the next one, which you can see I did the listserv. That's NCPLDA. That's North Carolina Public Library Director Association. That's what those letters stand for. As you can see, I put that. So I was waiting for a response from all the directors. Let's see. I want to say, and then you'll see something about Nash Community College from David Leggett. He said that he couldn't speak on the issue because that's another problem I was having, just to let you know. See, I can speak on the issues because I come before you and you all vote on it, but they have different boards, I guess, for Nash Community College, and different people have different jobs. So although he did IT, he couldn't say whether he could do anything or not, or whether Nash Community College can do something or not with the town of Nashville. He said, "Oh, I have to go speak to my superiors," but he didn't tell me who they were. So that kind of left me like in awe because I don't know who to speak to at Nash Community College. So, and Wilson handled their own IT for county-wise, and, oh, okay, I did want to say this. Nash County Public Schools recommended Tiber Creek, that's out of Charlotte. Again, some of these are not local now. Encore and Infernet Group. And so I just wanted to say that so I can explain the packet. On the left-hand side of your packet, you have Encore Technology. I don't know them. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I just get these thick packages, and I'm just going by what they give us. That's all I have to go by.
Well, it looks like you've done your research to me.
Yes.
And it looks like to me that we don't have an option except to go with Mark, like the recommendation. Do you feel that way, Cancel?
I do. And Randy even mentioned, or whoever wrote this up, an advertisement was placed in the town's website and in the
Right.
Nashville Graphic, and that we got no responses.
And we've got to have that text service to keep it going.
All right. Now, I do want to say since then, since that write-up that you just spoke about, what's on your left side and what's on your right side is what we get. Well, not all of them. Some of them came from that write-up. But the prices,
Right.
I mean, when we want to talk about the prices, the going amount of money per hour for the IT services, I looked at it, it's $85 an hour. And Mark is offering us $40 an hour, half the price. He can be remote. He is also coming in.
Where does
And
he live?
Now, I want to say, where is it? I'm trying to think. It's not Nashville.
I think it's Tarboro.
I want to say it's that too. That's what I want to say,
Yeah.
Wilson or Tarboro. But the thing is, this is what Mark said to me, and I believe him. He said to me, if he is in the area, he will not charge us for travel. And he is in the area because he is supporting other libraries. So he's not just sitting at the house. You know, it's a business. As a matter of fact, he's talking with Halifax now, and I believe it was Edgecombe that got him before we did.
Okay.
And so, so if you look at Computer Central and IT management services and Park Consulting, that's what's in your packet. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that only one or two of them respond from the ad. I've actually had to physically and really get in touch with people from the referrals. And so that is my presentation on that, and I just want to say that it's hard with the library to be concerned about their IT support. So far, I do understand computers, and I've been able to manage. But there's gonna be a time that it's out of my scope, because that's not what I went to school for. I have a master's in library science and information science. And like I said, I'm good with computers, but working on computers and using computers and servers, those types of things, you're talking about your hotspots, you're talking about your internet, right? Internet is two of them. That's not to say it's two of them. It's different kinds. You definitely need to be skilled in those areas.
Well,
I have a question,
Yeah.
Tequila, related to the schedule, the fee schedule. It says here the fee's based on a rate of $40 per hour and 5 hours per week. Is that there will be a set 5 hours each week he will work? It's not on a per call basis. In other words, if you have an issue, you call him.
Yeah, well, the way we set it up, when we first set it up, we set it up as we're saying we don't want to have to ask for more than 5 hours. I'm trying to make it so it won't be more than 5 hours a week. If we don't use that 5 hours a week,
we don't use it.
Okay.
He's trying to work with us.
Okay.
And
good.
so if let's say 1 week may take a little bit more, but because he didn't come that previous week, you know. So I'm not anticipating by no means that I'm gonna have more than 5 hours worth of work for him to come to each week.
Right.
That's just to cover. We have staff computers. I just want to make sure I just say this. Because we have public computers. I don't know who's been in the library, but please do come. Thank you. So, but we have staff computers, public computers, and then we have the computers that are the mainframe computers that runs the library, like the server, the mainframes. So those things have to be serviced. Even if we walk here, if we say we don't want to do it right now, but if something happened and everything shut down, we would be in a bind, and that's the honest God truth.
Well, I appreciate all your research, and do I hear a motion that we contract with Mark? I think it's resolution number 2021-23.
I have
I
one
move to
question.
approve.
Wait, she has a
I have
question.
a question. The contract with Mark is for $12,396, and our old contract with Braswell Randy was $7,691, so there's a difference of about $4,700.
And I can explain that too.
Okay, is
I,
that
I know all of that because I've studied that
Right.
contract.
is it in the
Okay.
budget? I mean, do we have that covered in the budget?
Okay, what I was gonna say is this: the thing with Braswell, Mark, you know how we were just talking about the 5 hours per week? Katie did not allow Mark to come that often. I saw Mark every now and then. So you paid $7,000 for me to see Mark every now and then. And what that meant is Braswell had branches. So Mark had to work at Braswell, which is in Rocky Mount, and he had to work at all the branches. And then we were last. That's what that meant. So really, you spent $7,000 and some dollars, and I didn't have much IT service, and that's the truth. Now, Forrest, how much money is in the budget? Theirs as well. I can't, was it Daniel? I believe Daniel came by the library and got some information. It was very expensive. At this point, we have to have IT, so it has to be a way that we find it in the budget. And if anyone can find it, I know that Sam will. I'm talking about Samantha, of course, the finance director. But actually, you're getting a deal. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Because remember, with the $7,000, I saw Mark every now and then. I can count how many times I saw Mark for the year. We're talking about him coming 5 hours each week. So you're really getting a better deal. And not to mention the things that we purchased with Braswell, we didn't get all back.
Well, I think it's important that we get tech for you, but we need to make sure that we've got money to cover it, you know, with the budget already established for this year. So, but,
Can I just hear that last statement again from things that we purchased from Braswell? What was that?
oh no, we didn't get everything back. I'm in the process of still trying to get things back. See, the way IT services work, everybody look at things in a tangible and physical way, like, you know, I'm touching this desk. Well, with IT, you know, it's a lot of software, databases, things that you can't really touch. Those things we purchased. We don't have them.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get everything back.
what is the desire of the council for this?
I move that we go with Mark.
Okay,
Second.
do I hear a second? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much. So
Thank you so much.
the next item on our agenda is our local water supply plan resolution.
Lee, would you like to explain this to the council?
All right, so this year the state has requested that all local water supply plans go before their local board to be adopted as a resolution. This hasn't happened in the past, so that's why you haven't seen it before. So a local water supply plan is an assessment of a water system's current and future water needs and its ability to meet those needs. By understanding current and future needs, local governments will be better able to manage water supplies and better prepared to plan for water supply system improvements. North Carolina General Statute 143-355 requires all units of local government that provide or plan to provide public water service to prepare a local water supply plan. All community water systems that regularly serve 1,000 or more service connections or serve more than 3,000 people are also required to prepare a local water supply plan. The Town of Nashville's local water supply plan has been submitted according to the guidelines and meets the requirements of North Carolina General Statute 143-355. And now I'm asking that you adopt the 2020 local water supply plan so we can sign it in, get it signed into resolution and resubmit it to the state for final approval.
Do I hear a motion from the council that we approve this resolution?
So this is the plan?
Yeah.
This?
Yeah.
What am I
We just
looking
ho-
at?
Exactly, what are we looking at? The only thing that I saw was that we probably have 2,520 residential water users. I mean, the numbers mean nothing.
There's not a very printer-friendly version of it,
No.
correct? But if you want to.
But this is what the state, it's
Yes,
adequate for the state's requirement.
Correct. That's adequate for the state and.
Lee, is it true that we've been submitting the plan? We have already been doing this, that what's new is the requirement for the resolution?
Resolution.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
there we go.
Council, do I hear a motion that we approve this resolution?
moved.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lee.
It's like the plan printed with only the answers.
I don't
and-
know.
That's
Exactly.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
A lot of decimals and,
What was the question?
Yeah.
Who's the answer? It's Jeopardy.
Our next item is the adoption of a resolution to discard surplus property. So would you like to talk about that,
Sure.
or I'll just,
A while back, the council approved disposing of some surplus property. It was all listed on govdeals.com. The electronics and stuff, the computers, and most of it is all library stuff. Nobody bid on. If they did, they didn't come get it. So this resolution authorizes the library to dispose of that property.
yes.
So to let you know, we had a bidder, but they thought, apparently they must thought we was Nashville, Tennessee or somewhere. They was in another state. So what happened was usually, you can keep their money and they can't get the things, and so anyway, so we decided not to do that.
Well, that was a good
Yeah,
thing.
we thought that would be inappropriate, so we released them, and so, the computers that we have, that we are trying to dispose of, they're no more good. Cause I need you to understand it, so we're not just trying to get rid of
Right.
computers. They're outdated, the system is old, I think we're, really right now, you should be using like a Windows 10 or a Windows 11, you should be going in Windows 11. We're talking about Windows like 7 and back, and so you can't really install or update these computers. And we also had some children computers that, and it was just a matter of time, they're not gonna be any more good, and we're not gonna be able to get those parts, anything. Anyway, we got the grants, so we got new computers to
Good.
replace it. We have a grant, that we already have new computers to replace
Good.
those.
So we just need to get rid of
We
these
just need to
outdated.
get
Do I
rid
hear a
of
motion that we
Move to
discard?
approve.
second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Our next item on our agenda is the Commerce Street Sewer Extension. Randy?
So we got 3 bids on this from 3 area contractors, Ed Braswell and Sons of Rocky Mount for $80,335. BCS Contractors of Spring Hope for $86,850, and Weaver Asphalt and Paving and Company from Rocky Mount for $88,900. This is to install about 700 feet of sewer in the Westville Nashville Commerce Park along Commerce Street. We thought it was there. It had all been engineered back in 2015, permitted by NCDEQ. And at the last minute, the council at the time decided, well, we don't have anybody there, let's just hold up till we do. Well, now, we have Lee Balance, our economic development partner, who's building a second shell building there, and obviously we need to have sewer for that to hook up to. So I believe you have before you the engineer's recommendation on who to award this contract to from Kevin Barnell and he's recommending BCS Contractors, which is the same contractor that's doing the Windy Oak Drainage Project for us now.
Do I hear a motion that we accept this resolution?
This same thing is subject to them acquiring whatever, well, they said, wasn't there like a certification or something that they needed for the Windy Oak one?
Well, that was an asphalt company.
Okay, so
No.
different, okay.
Different. This is
BCS already
Okay.
has a contractor's
Okay,
license
perfect.
from the state of North Carolina.
But they, like everybody else, they're having trouble getting materials, pipes, but anyway. Do I hear a motion that we approve this resolution number 2021-25?
I have a question. Does this come from the enterprise fund, Randy?
Yes, so we do have a balance in our enterprise fund, and that's where this $86,000 will come from.
You mean 68,000?
I'm sorry, 68.
So what is the balance in the enterprise fund?
Well, I think Sam last reported, we ended up with the year with about $350,000 in the enterprise fund balance. And this money will, this $68,000 will come from that.
I just know that it's low and we have to be careful.
Yeah.
Did we take a vote on that?
I don't think a motion was made yet.
Is there a motion that we approve that resolution?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
And I think our last one is about the COVID incentive, and I just think we need to let that go by the wayside from the, I don't, just tell me, council, what is your desire on that?
Absolutely not.
I think no, I think it's offered for free at Walgreens, at CVS, at McDonald's these days. Anyone who wanted it, had access to it, can get it for free. I think if we want to be part of the solution, maybe we can offer rides for anyone who can't get a ride who works for us, before work or after work or during lunch. But as far as monetary incentives, no.
So, is there a motion to approve this?
No.
Okay, all those,
I move that we not approve
all those in
this.
favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. We will not support that. We will
It's
let
like a
them get their,
backwards way of saying it.
get them on their own.
I
We,
think, Mayor, I do think it's worth noting that businesses are starting to require masks again, and I believe we may be moving in that direction.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
by the end of the week, we hope to have guidance from, the League of Cities or League of Municipalities on this. And a number of cities and municipalities have already implemented mask mandates, and I'm sure we'll have one by the end of the week.
did you have anything else to
Yeah, just a
report
couple
on?
things, quickly. Our Windy Oak Drainage Improvement Project, I got a call today from Brian Culbertson, BCS Contracting, and his pipe has been back ordered. It's gonna be 8 weeks before his concrete storm sewer pipe shows up so he can do that project. But he is planning on yet this week, we know now we have to lower the water main on Windy Oak Drive in order to get that 48-inch pipe over top of it. And he's planning on doing that. I called the property owners yesterday and explained, weather permitting, the time frame for that. They'll turn the water off on Thursday morning about 8 o'clock. They will cut out a section of the pipe. They'll already have assembled up on top a replacement piece to go back in it, dig it down, put it in, bolt it up, cover it back up, and hopefully the water will be back on by 1 o'clock. So if that plan changes for any reason, I will let the property owners know that. I'll let you guys know that. I'm also going to notify the people on Laurel Springs Drive, who are also part of this project too, that the pipe availability isn't here now. So we're going to have to grant the contractor an extension on the completion date of this, obviously due to circumstances beyond their control. It's not that he doesn't want to do it, he just can't get the pipe delivered to the site to install it.
Have we been able to do anything as far as that temporary solution that we talked about?
That is in place,
Okay.
yes.
Perfect.
We do need to go downstream and cut a surface channel, so if something does come through there, it has a way to get to Laurel Springs Drive, which is downstream.
So where they had filled in, you mean?
Well, they filled it in, it's under the street. Well, now that I've said that, he started the project, I think he took those pipes out. let me work on that. We'll
Okay.
probably have to put them back in place if it's gonna be 8 weeks.
Okay.
What about well number 6
Well number 6, Lee, you got an update for the council on well number 6?
and 7?
Well, number 6, we have got a preliminary response from our engineer. We're waiting for a formal response, or a formal recommendation, rather. The preliminary findings are that the pump is gonna have to be resized to something smaller. So they've finished a conversation with the well contractor, and will be making their formal recommendation.
How soon? I mean, this the well has been non-producing for a long time now,
Since March?
and that's our number one producer.
Yeah.
I would hope to have a formal recommendation by mid-August.
Okay. What about number 7?
Number 7, we just signed a contract to pull the pump, do a complete investigation, and are waiting to get on the schedule for that.
What about the leak on Elm Street, in reference to the Elm Street stormwater project? The water leak, did we ever find it?
We have not found the leak now. No. We brought in RWA to do some leak detection, and they have been unsuccessful.
Is he coming back, Lee? Didn't you mention he was gonna give it another try?
Well, he's been here twice, and he's kind of stated that at this point he's out of ideas. He's done what he could on our part of the system, and they're not sure where it's coming from.
We need to find the leak.
Yeah. You know, when Barnhill put in the storm sewer on Elm Street, we really truly thought they would come upon that, and they didn't. So where that water is coming from, don't know at this point. You know, I'm gonna reach out again to, well, we have 2 engineers giving us advice on this right now, Woon Company and Stocks Engineering, and of course, the staff at Rural Water Association, which have a lot of experience, but I don't know, I'm kind of at a loss where we go to look for this water leak if its source can't be found.
When do we start the televising of our system? Like, would that assist in this at all?
It might. The latest theory on this is the leak is further up the hill toward the cemetery, and it's following some type of conduit to get to the administrative building's parking lot, which is where it's getting into the storm sewer. So, you know, we can investigate that, but I think the leak locator has gone up on the hill and put his listening devices on the fire hydrants, on the water meters, and doesn't hear anything where it's leaking. That's usually how they find the leaks.
Mhm.
If they're not surfacing, you can use that listening equipment and you can hear water running underground, so to speak.
So I guess mapping to find out where, because it sounds like there's something that we don't know exists is causing this.
I suppose we could, you know, as a last resort, start turning off sections of water within town, obviously letting people know.
Mhm.
And, you know, it probably would take several hours to a day to know if that location then is the cause.
Right.
And the water stops running into the storm sewer. I don't think we have that kind of tolerance with our neighbors of being without water. So we'll reach out to more experts on this and try and find a way to find this water leak. Our engineer estimated it was anywhere from 5 to 7 gallons a minute. Doesn't sound like a lot, but over, you know, time, it does add up.
We need to find it. There must be some other leak detector out there that we need to reach out to. Also, is that project in budget?
The Elm Street storm sewer?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other reports, Randy?
That's all I have.
Lynn, do you have any comments?
Yes, I just want to say, I really do want to thank Mr. Hurt for all the work that he has done to try to make this project available to us here in town, and certainly your willingness to step back. You've been doing this for quite a while now. Public-private partnerships are not new. They're not new to Nashville. They've been done not only statewide, they've been done nationwide. It is something allowed by legislation, so it's not a new thing. And I think that once we can get this project in place, the benefits not only to the town, but to the citizens will be very well known and understood, and I'm looking forward to it.
Kate?
I share those sentiments. I just wanted to thank you for being open-minded and hearing the citizens' concerns, and I know it wasn't something that was necessarily on the table that we have discussed, but just agreeing to the donation, I think, really does go a long way. We are very excited. I think this is going to be a great partnership. I think that you will benefit, we will benefit, the citizens will benefit, the town will benefit. And just looking at the projections of what type of life and revenue it will bring to the area, not even looking at the economic impact of, you know, the local gas stations and other restaurants and other shops, it just seems like it's going to be a tremendous boost for us. And I think that in reading the petition that has gone out, which I saw on Facebook, and seeing the comments and the support of so many of the citizens has just really solidified what we're trying to do here. And I want to thank all the citizens who have come out to express your opinion, and those who have written in to express your opinion, because they do matter. And so thank you.
Louise?
I think the project has merit. I'm just concerned about using public money. I also think that we do not need to dismiss neighbors who've been in that area for a long, long time. Edith Copton and Mary John Matthews need to be considered. And whereas this is a wonderful project, there are longtime residents who cannot be dismissed.
I agree.
Thank you so much for coming out, and we appreciate you coming out, and I agree with the statements. I'm excited about the junction, but at the same time, we want to take care of Mary John and Miss Edith. They've been with us a long time, and I hope they'll be here a lot longer, but we want to make sure that their lifestyle will not be jolted by this, and I don't believe it will. I'll be surprised if it is. But anyway, thank you so much, and we'll see you the second.
Motion to adjourn.
I am. The next meeting. So do I have a motion that we now adjourn? Second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting.